With what you just heard in that report of that young medical student protesting, that it's another crime that will happen, there will be momentary protest and then it will die down, like multiple others, viewers. This might be West Bengal, Kolkata, and the government is responsible and needs to be made accountable. But it's happened so many times before different states. We see momentary bursts of protest and then it all dies down till there is a new incident. In this particular case, the opposition in West Bengal is asking that the case be handed over to the CBI. Should it? Let's cut across to our guest this evening. I have with me Nazrul Islam, former IPS officer, former DG of West Bengal Police. I have Dr. Rishi Raj Sinha, National General Secretary, Federation of All India Medical Association. He and his colleagues are on strike in the national capital. Riju Datta, representing the TMC, spokesperson for the political party, facing massive heat because this has taken place in the state of West Bengal in Kolkata. The first arrest that has been made of a suspect is a volunteer of the Kolkata police, a civic volunteer. It's happened in a government hospital. Sanju Verma, BJP national spokesperson, the Bharatiya Janata Party, the principal opposition in the state of West Bengal, asking that the case be handed over to the CBI. Dr. Kunal Sarkar, senior vice chairperson, director and head of cardiac surgery at Medica Super Speciality Hospital, Kolkata. I also have with me Dr. Anupam Roy, final year student, MBBS, RJ Medical College, as well as Dr. Shams Musafir, both of them joining us. These are protesting doctors from that same institute, government-owned institute in Kolkata, where this young 31-year-old junior doctor was raped and she was murdered. She was 31 years old. She had her whole life, her dreams, her career ahead of her, and all cut short. I want to cut across first to Dr. Anupam Roy. Dr. Roy, you are sitting in protest at the RJ Medical College. I just want to ask you, can you recount for us on what really happened or unfolded that night? And when is it that you and your other colleagues were informed that a junior postgraduate trainee doctor was raped and killed? Because earlier on there was indication that the RJ Medical College tried to suppress the facts and pass it off as a suicide. Dr. Roy, that question is for you.
Excuse me. Actually, I am not Dr. Roy, but I am Dr. Shams Musafir. Actually, the incidents happened on...
Sir, can I request you to speak slightly louder? You're a little inaudible. Can I request you to speak slightly louder?
Yes, please repeat the question, please.
Sir, I want to ask you, when were you told that a postgraduate trainee doctor at the RJ Medical College, where you come from, was reported dead, was reported raped? Because earlier on, the indications are that the college tried to suppress facts, and even to the parents of this young woman indicated this was suicide.
We all are bleeding because our colleague, our junior, a nice girl, left us. And the incidents occurred in such a condition. And after the incidents, the college authority and the government all are working, all are doing such things which are not bearable to us. From the beginning, they tried to suppress the incidents. They tried to say that it is a suicide, though there was clear evidence that it is not a suicide but a murder. But the authority was trying to suppress the fact. Since then, we are in movement and we are demanding that we want judicial inquiry of the incidents and punishment of the culprits. Till the punishment will be achieved, our movement will be carried on. In between, we heard that one person had been arrested, but on which basis he has been arrested, it is not clear. We think, we suspect the criminal was not single. The amount of injuries was so much. There was probably more than one criminal. But every time the government and the authority was trying to say that he was the criminal, that Sanjay Rai is the criminal. We are not satisfied with that fact. Another thing was this principal of Arjikar Medical College, Dr. Sandeep Ghosh. He was alleged with many charges many times. So there was, we were afraid that if he remains in the post, he will obstruct everything. At the beginning, he tried to, said that I won't take any responsibility of the incidents. So if he is in the chair, he will definitely obstruct the investigation and other things. So we, all members of the movement, we wanted his resignation and complete termination, not transfer, his complete termination. But till now, already 3-4 days left, but we have seen there is no any assurance that a judicial inquiry will be there, and they are just transferring some small persons and Dr. Sandeep Ghosh to another principal post. Sure, we are not satisfied at all with that. We want judicial inquiry should be started immediately. We want the post-mortem report should be published immediately. These are our demands, and with those demands we are continuing our movement. This movement has been spread not only in West Bengal but throughout India, and I am requesting everyone, the senior section of the society, to carry forward this spirit of the movement to fight for the justice.
So, Doctor,
our colleague,
let me recalibrate. You want a judicial inquiry, number one. You want the principal to go. You think there is more than one perpetrator where the crime is concerned. Are these your three key demands?
Yes, these are the key of the key demands.
Are you also
and
wanting
also
the
security
CBI
in
to
all
step in?
medical colleges and hospitals? Yes, we don't believe in seat, police inquiry, CID, CBI. We wanted since the beginning judicial inquiry. That's all.
So you don't want a CBI inquiry, but you definitely want a judicial inquiry. You feel that the incumbent government is protecting the principal, is protecting the college. It is a state-run college, number one. And you want a proper probe to be conducted because you are fearing that they're going to try and wrap up the case because they try to suppress facts. They here in the beginning was the college and the hospital itself. Stay with me. I want to bring in Dr. Rishiraj Sinha. Now, as the protesting doctor just informed you that this is now not just a protest that is limited to the city of Kolkata and West Bengal. Doctors across the country are banding together, and understandably, why? To ask for justice for their slain, murdered, raped 31-year-old colleague in Kolkata. Dr. Sinha, what are your demands? If those demands are met, which was elucidated by your colleague in Kolkata, would you be content, or you think there is now time to relook at the laws that there are which protects our health force or our frontline workers?
Yeah, ma'am. Yeah, ma'am. A very good evening. First of all, I would like to convey that we as an association had announced strike pan India, number one. Number two, the main demands that we are always saying is start with the CBI inquiry. The case should be immediately transferred to any central agency, investigation agency, who will be unbiased for the same. Number one. Number two, the post-mortem report should be published immediately. Number three, as we all are seeing that here nowadays, daily, if you see on a social media or anywhere, in each side of the country, there are some doctors who are assaulted on a daily basis. So we need a Central Protection Act or similar kind of act which will safeguard the doctors working in a hospital. If doctors are not safe at the workplace, then where they are safe? We as a doctor spend 75% of our day at a hospital, at our working place. And if we are not safe over there, then I don't think so that we are safe anywhere. So
No,
I request via
right.
your channel that I humbly request the government to kindly consider this case as well as all the cases to implement a Central Protection Act, CPA Act, or any kind of similar act which will define the punishment that a person who
Right.
has committed a crime should get.
All right. Okay, you know, there was an attempt to introduce the then called Healthcare Services Personal and Clinical Establishment Bill, mooted at the back of nationwide strikes that had taken place to safeguard and protect our frontline workers and doctors. At that time, it was at the draft level rejected by the Home Ministry. Should there be a larger rethink? We're going to visit that as well. I want to cut across to Nazrul Islam, former IPS officer. He's been the former DG of West Bengal Police. And, you know, there are multiple facets, Mr. Islam, that are coming to the fore. Number one, a crime as heinous as that to occur in a government hospital, number one. Number two, the first accused arrested is a civic volunteer enlisted by the Kolkata police, question marks there. Number three, that what is also preposterous, that the medical staff at the said college, which is government run and hospital, tried to pass off this crime as suicide.
Just think what has happened clearly shows that the medical college authority and the police authority wanted to cover up the crime and the real culprits. Why I am telling so? The inquest report, if you check, it is not on any criminal case, but in a UD case, unnatural death case. You mentioned the injuries. In the inquest report also, 10, 11 injuries are mentioned, where it has also been mentioned that there was bleeding for the vagina. And after such injuries, a criminal case must have been started. But without starting it, they went on with an UD case. And in keeping with it, you also mentioned it, that the authorities informed her parents that your daughter has committed suicide. So they want to cover up the real story and shield someone. If I explain why I am thinking so,
Okay.
in a murder and rape case, there is at present no doubt that there was rape, there was murder. So in that case, the scientific evidence, when there is bleeding from the vagina, the vaginal swab should have been collected by the police, but I don't know that they have collected. Why should have been collected? Because if the perpetrators are secretors, then from their blood grouping, it could be known whether there is one or more than one and how many. If even they are not secretors, then the DNA fingerprinting will establish this. And if the suspect is arrested, DNA fingerprinting is matched, then it will ensure the punishment of the accused person. But this has not been done.
Right.
I don't know.
So, sir, you're basically saying everything was done
Yes.
to cover up a gruesome, heinous crime that took place in that hospital, and possibly at that level in the beginning, the hospital staff The first investigation, there was a full cover-up to try and project this as a suicide. Correct?
Yes, another point I'm telling, the students were telling about the principal. At noon, he resigned from the principal of the Arjikar College. In the afternoon, he has been appointed as the principal of National Medical College.
I agree.
He is so dear and near and important for the ruling parties for committing crimes.
And that's, I really, I'd appreciate the
extracting
patience of our two
monies.
political panelists who are with us. Just allow us like 3 minutes. I just want to bring in Dr. Kunal Sarkar as well, who's Senior Vice Chairman, Director and Head of Cardiac Surgery at Medica Super Speciality Hospital. And, Dr. Sarkar, it's amazing how this entire case has panned out because a crime as heinous as this has occurred, one. Two, the Arjikar hospital, which is government owned, first even tells the parents and the other students and the other junior doctors there that this is suicide. You try and pass it off as suicide. Who knows whether there was an attempt to dress up the crime scene? Nobody really understands and knows that. One of the key factors in this, where at least the students that are protesting at the Kolkata college are very clear, or the doctors who are protesting are making it very clear that they might not want a CBI probe. They say no CBI, they want a judicial inquiry. But more than anything else, they also wanted the principal to go. The principal is removed only to be reinstated. You're on mute, sir.
There has been a series of very incoherent, knee-jerk kind of actions which we in the city, we in the state have really struggled to explain the rationality of what's been happening. Now, if you just consider this to be a blasphemous crime against a young girl, if you just consider the crime site, regardless of the fact where the crime was, the only thing the criminal did not leave behind was their Aadhaar card and passport photographs. Apart from that, every biological evidence of every conceivable nature was in the crime site, and a police force as capable as Calcutta's police force, it should have been an open and shut case for them in a matter of 72, 3 to 4 days to solve this case. So these series of actions which has raised this conspiracy theory that there is a concerted effort to hush it up has really been absolutely devastating. I mean, why on earth should this happen? And this has all the makings of taking us back to 2008, because as we lose time, as evidence loses credibility, as all the kind of biological sampling will end up being a hodgepodge, I think we are perhaps seeing a replay of the Arushi Talwar case in front of us, because valuable time would have been lost. We honestly are lost in a maze as who's trying to protect whom, but the sacrifice of a young doctor in the face of an inefficient, unprofessional hospital management, it looks again, another life of a doctor in this instance is honestly laid to waste. And the people of the city, the medical and the general community of the city are devastated with the series of incoherent knee-jerk actions which is happening. And I, for myself, cannot explain that why is this happening? The government is turning this into a political volleyball match when there was no need to do so. It was a human turn.
Stay with me, sir. Dr. Sarkar, stay with me. Riju Datta and our BJP spokesperson, Sanju Verma, I'd like to bring both of you in right now. And Riju Datta, let me begin with one thing. This could have happened in any state. It's the handling of the issue, which is in question all the time. This could have happened anywhere else, but it's also, like I pointed out and like many pointed out, is the handling of the issue. Number one, to be steadfast of not allowing a CBI probe. The conviction rate of the CBI now, Riju Datta, is nearly 75%. I would reckon that's credible enough where you are being accused, at least prima facie in the beginning, of failing to act in time. Number two, the Arjikar government hospital where this the college where this crime occurred is run by you. It's on your watch. The person who was at the head of the establishment, you remove him only hours later to reinstate him. The students who are sitting on dharna have zero faith right now in the institution, where they feel that their rights, forget about rights, their safety isn't protected. Riju Datta, why shouldn't we say that the government has failed these students? Hand it over to the CBI, or at least ask for a judicial probe that the students there are wanting.
Preeti, to start off with, I will talk today not as the representative of Trinamool Congress, but I will rise above politics on this sensitive issue. A heinous crime has been committed, a rarest of the rare crime has been committed in the state of West Bengal, in Kolkata, inside the premises of a government-run hospital. Now, once this crime is committed, what has the administration done? The chief minister has been in touch with the family of the victim from day one. The entire investigation is being conducted by none other than the Commissioner of Police of Calcutta, the tallest police officer in the jurisdiction in Calcutta. The demands of removing the principal, the demands of removing the MSVP, the demands of removing the HOD of Chess Department, the demands of removing the ACP of the local jurisdiction has been met, and they have all been removed. But a senior doctor in an administrative post, as it is that doctors, there's a huge shortage of doctors pan-India. We want to use his expertise at least in some other place rather than just.
So he failed you here. So you're quick to reinstate him. Do you reckon, Riju Datta, first let me get one point straight. Did this principal in question fail his students, fail the doctors working in that organization, fail this 31-year-old? Did he do it or not? He was the head of the entire college. Yes or no?
I will be very blunt. Every top officer, every top doctor of Arjikar Medical College has to take accountability of this crime.
Then why would Riju Datta, now please allow me a rebuttal. Then why in the world, one would ask, everyone sitting there right now protesting, and we had 3 of them on the show this evening, asked you that question. If you hold everyone accountable, it took you 3 hours to reinstate the principal in an organization of equal standing, if not more.
Because again I will say, there is a dearth of doctors and doctors who have had these administrative trainings.
Riju Datta, it's maybe, it's irony because your audio link is failing us. Your audio link is failing us right now. We're going to try and connect to you. But, to justify that there's a dearth of doctors in administrative position, if this is the administration, you don't want that, Dr. Riju Datta, I'm sure. But let's leave it at that. I want to bring in Sanju Verma. We're going to try and connect Riju's audio there, and we'll go back to him immediately. But Sanju Verma, the fact is, I just want to put out the crime graph in terms of the NCRB data where West Bengal is concerned. It's actually the last 10 states across the country, one of the least amounts or numbers of crime take place, Sanju Verma, in West Bengal. An incident like that could have happened anywhere at all. You ask for a CBI probe. Well, the Chief Minister says, give it 1 week. If there is no resolution or if the guilty are not, taken in, then we'll hand it over to the CBI. Why politicize?
Okay. Preeti, thank you for having a very sane and sensible debate. My heart goes out to the family of the bereaved. 31 is no age to die, more so under such heinous and gruesome circumstances. It's blood-curdling to even read about it. Having said that, since this is a debate and you have political representatives, without beating around the bush, let me address the elephant in the room. Point number 1, Mamata Banerjee is not just the Chief Minister of West Bengal and the only woman Chief Minister in any state in India, but she is also the Home Minister. And she has failed both as the Home Minister and as the Chief Minister. I want to ask a few questions because therein lies my rebuttal. Has the Law Minister under the Mamata dispensation resigned? No. Has the WCD Minister Sashi Panja resigned? I remember last year when in Howrah and Hooghly, during the Panchayat poll violence, 2 BJP women workers were paraded naked for 2 kilometers. Sashi Panja said, अब कपड़े उतर गए तो उतर गए, इसका राजनीतिकरण करने की क्या जरूरत है, जो हुआ सो हुआ. And I will tell you something, Preeti. It is this hua to hua attitude of Mamata Banerjee which has given vandals, goons, sexual molesters a free run. I want to ask one question through your channel. Why is it that when Professor Sandeep Ghosh was removed thrice earlier, Once he was sent to Murshidabad. He came back to Arjikar Medical College within 30 days. Twice he was removed as principal. Once he came back within 48 hours of his removal. What is the compulsion of Mamata Banerjee to have an incompetent Sandeep Ghosh who keeps getting sacked and keeps getting reinstated at Arjikar Medical College? And Preeti, since you know that I corroborate my facts with data, I'm glad you put out some rape statistics pertaining to the NCRB. But I have some statistics and you can have this verified by your team. This is rape, cases of physical violence and sexual assaults against women. In West Bengal alone, rape, sexual assault cases and physical violence cases against women, 2.89 lakh cases in 2021, 3.47 lakh cases in 2022, and in 2023, that number burgeoned to 4.31 lakh cases. And tell me, Preeti.
Ma'am, you're attributing
I'm sure
this
you're
data to what?
That the conviction rate, just 10 seconds more, the conviction rate in crimes against women in West Bengal is a measly 2.7%.
Sir, I'll come back to you. Allow her. Yes, go ahead, ma'am. Make your point.
Conviction rate for crimes against women is a measly 2.7%. And have you noticed one thing, Preeti? What most people on your panel have said, and the protesting students and protesting doctors, one thing which is reverberating, which has never happened earlier. They are all saying we don't trust the Kolkata police. Why is Mamata Banerjee keen on continuing with Rajiv Kumar, a tainted official, as the DGP of Kolkata, as the DGP of West Bengal? Kya majboori hai Mamata Didi that a Narada scam tainted, a Sarada scam tainted Rajiv Kumar is your senior most police officer, and under his long and incompetent nose, crimes against women have been on the rise with a measly conviction rate of less than 3%. And Riju Datta says crimes are happening and we should let it pass because enough doctors are not there. What kind of stupid logic is that?
1 second. Sanju Verma, number one.
What kind of stupid logic is that?
Sanju Verma, number one, can you attribute, you gave out data. What's your source of data?
Can I come in?
I'm collating all the data that NCRB puts out separately.
Well then, okay, you have, all right, okay, if it is NCRB, if you're collating, all right, if you're collating NCRB data, then one must imagine what, places like Delhi, because Delhi is practically on the top, Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan.
So today we are discussing West Bengal.
I agree with you. Yes, I agree with you. We are discussing West Bengal. Now, I agree, Sanju Verma, I agree we are discussing. I agree we are discussing West Bengal.
But are we discussing Delhi today, Preeti? Ma'am, or are we discussing Arjikar Medical College?
Ma'am, hear me out.
What are we discussing? Why do you always try and digress and divert?
No, I'm not. Nobody's trying to digress and divert. Madam, please.
What's your compulsion?
No. I don't think you were tuned into the show right from the beginning. If you, of all people, after being tuned in on the show, are saying we're trying to digress, nobody's trying to digress. We're trying to put the facts out. We are trying to put the facts out. And it is factual that incompetence is a lovely political tool. While, and correctly so, pointing out that Shashi Panja, who is the WCD minister, when it comes down to the state of West Bengal, should take responsibility or at least come in. Similarly, on a national level, many had attributed the NCW to be incompetent. You've got to put out facts, that's it. But Riju Datta, I want to bring you in because nothing takes you away. Riju Datta, nothing takes you or gives you a free pass or gets you out of the dock. Because today, it's the competence of the government of West Bengal that is being questioned. Your police force is being questioned. If these are demands that have been laid by the student, number one still can't wrap their heads around. You remove someone only to reinstate him, and the excuse to that, Riju Datta, is that you can't do without doctors and somebody in an administrative post. He failed abysmally administratively, Riju Datta, number one. Number two, what stops you from handing the case to the CBI, because the CBI now has a conviction rate of close to 75%. Why get one-upmanship where politics is concerned in that? Hand it over.
Okay, now I got cut last time. I hope nobody will interrupt me. I did not want this mudslinging match today on this sensitive issue. I did not want this whataboutery. What the logic given by the BJP spokesperson, by that same logic, after Unnao and Hathras, Yogi should have resigned. After Manipur, Modi should have resigned. This can go on till cows come home.
Modi
I did not want this whataboutery. Can I?
Let us go one by one, ma'am. Allow him, I'll allow you. Ma'am, allow him. I will allow you a rebuttal as well. Allow him.
Don't lecture me, Riju Datta.
Sanju Verma, let's not get into this. Okay, let's go one by one. Can I get Riju Datta and then I will allow the same time to Sanju Verma. Go ahead, Riju Datta, make your point.
Yes, thank you. I did not want this mudslinging match. I did not want this whataboutery. Two women were paraded naked in Manipur, and Modi was clicking pictures. So
But that is
it is very
whataboutery,
rich
Riju
coming from the
Datta.
BJP. I am not going into that. I did not want to indulge in that. But the
you
point
are.
here is, from day one. No, I'm just answering. I'm answering. See,
Please make your point.
Even if you clean vultures with surf excel in a washing machine, they'll not become peacocks. So BJP is used to this vulture.
Sir, please answer the questions I've asked you. Go ahead.
Question, I'm answering. See, the students' protest is justified. 100%. There has been some lacuna in the beginning, right at the beginning of the investigation. Agreed. But now the investigation is absolutely transparent. The postmortem report cannot be publicized because of a Supreme Court verdict. The police commissioner has called a representative of student doctors who are protesting to come to the commissioner of police's office, and the postmortem report and the investigation will be made transparent. The chief minister has said that if by Sunday, and she has said this before also, that the major stakeholders here, the victims' family members, if they are not satisfied with the investigation, we will give it over to CBI. The father of the victim said, I have complete faith in Mamata Banerjee. Let me see how the state government investigation unfolds. Now they have given some facts. Investigation is ongoing. We are just sitting
You
here.
Do understand, as I go now to Sanju Verma,
Riju
Datta, you do understand that the SIT that has been formulated, the students there, the doctors there, and I'll go back, to the doctors right after I get Sanju Verma in, are raising questions on even the SIT, where they are saying that the SIT is formed by those who are close to the TMC. Those are the members of the SIT. Sanju Verma, come in for a rebuttal. We'll go back to the panel then.
Thank you, Preeti. And Preeti, now like Riju did not want to be heckled, nor do I.
Ma'am,
let me say something to you.
Yes, go ahead, ma'am. All yours.
Let me say something, Preeti. You know, I'm ashamed that Mamata Banerjee, as a woman chief minister, is as insensitive as they come. After the 2012 horrific Suzette Jordan Park Street rape case, she said, oh, women who go clubbing, women who go to discos, women who have multiple partners, women who are prone to whining and dining. If she's been raped, so kaun si badi baat hai? And these statements are out there in the public domain. Suzette Jordan died heartbroken. Then in 2022, can I finish?
No, can I just get Sanju Verma? Allow her to finish. Go ahead, Sanju Verma, make your point.
I will not speak like this because he was alone on the screen when he was talking.
Let's get you alone on the screen.
Do not record that to the BJP.
Ma'am, according right away. Accept it. Accept it that I've accorded to you on national television.
Thank you, Preeti. Thank you for being so kind. Let me tell you, Suzette Jordan Park Street gang rape case, Mamata Banerjee says, hua to hua. 2022, Preeti, I'm ashamed to even say this, a 14-year-old girl studying in class 9 at Hansa Khili, raped by 9 people, including a TMC councillor's son, and brutally murdered. And her last rites were performed under dubious circumstances by West Bengal police. And Mamata Banerjee says, on Hansa Khali, it's a rape chilo, na love affair chilo. Or was it?
All right.
She was basically victim shaming. And I want to say one more thing. Be it Jalpaiguri, be it Bardwan, be it Birbhum, be it Purba Medinipur, be it Paschim Medinipur, when women have been paraded naked, Mamata Banerjee, Sushmita Dev, Mahua Moitra, Kakoli Dastidar, their attitude is hua to hua. I remember on Sandesh Khali, Mahua Moitra on India Today channel is there on record saying, oh, you know what happened in Sandesh Khali? These women were given 2,000 rupees each to defend the Bengal dispensation. Now imagine if Sanju Verma were to say this about Manipur. Imagine if Yogi Adityanath were to say this about Unnao. Imagine if, and Preeti, one last point. I have been on your shows. I have condemned Manipur. I have condemned Unnao. I have condemned Hathras. Does Congress and its darbaris, do they have the guts to condemn Mohit Khan?
I want to bring in.
Do they have the guts to condemn what
Ma'am, allow me to go back to the panel, and I want to bring in Dr. Kunal Sarkar. Allow me. No, sir. You both got equal time. I will come back. Let me, allow me to open up the panel, and I promise I'll come back to you, Mr. Datta. Dr. Kunal Sarkar, away from the politics in this current case, is there now a definite need for a larger law which governs the safety of our health workers?
Absolutely. There is a need of a law, Preeti, but I think how can we have laws when in a civilized society we cannot have a transparent, logical, straightforward investigation of a banal and blasphemous crime without giving into these aimless political distractions? The best way to divert the court of justice today would be to succumb to the political whataboutery. There should be only one objective right now, and that objective is the city, the state, the government should be completely steadfast in having a transparent investigation of this case. There has been enough knee-jerk reactions. There has been enough distractions. And once we have a closure on this case, we need to sit back and discuss what constitutes professional management of hospitals. We need to sit back and discuss what constitutes doctors' safeties in the workplace. But that cannot be at the cost of hijacking with this political agenda, hijacking yet another human crime and a human sacrifice. Precious time is being lost. The weight of evidence is getting eroded. And very shortly, all this will simply be washed away from public memory as yet another abortive incident of a helpless girl seeking justice.
Well said, sir, and very true. I want to go back to Dr. Shams Musafir, who's a colleague, protesting doctor of this 31-year-old, because mind you, viewers, let's just come back to this 31-year-old young woman, her life in front of her cut short. Dr. Shams Musafir, if you can hear me, once again I will come back to you. Number one, you are looking, what are you looking at? Elucidate for us again. You're not happy with the current circumstances on how the government is handling the situation. You're not happy how the principal has been reinstated. Number three, you are looking at a judicial probe. You do not want a CBI probe, unlike your colleague who's sitting right now in the national capital in arms protesting with you.
Right. Right. You have told right.
All right. Now, what is your next?
Unprecedented incidents.
What's your next course of action?
Movement will go on. Today, a huge rally was organized by all medical fraternity, and it will continue. Tomorrow also, the strike will be continued in all medical colleges of West Bengal, and we have heard there are many medical colleges across the country. They have joined the ceasefire and strike.
So your rallies, your strike will continue for justice for your 31-year-old colleague.
Further till our
I apologize to cut you short. I'm running out of time, but thank you for joining us, and trust us, we are going to keep coming back to you because your word matters. What the doctors and the students of this medical college feel matters. The parents of this 31-year-old raped and murdered matters. Last 20 seconds each to our two political spokespersons. Riju Datta, please conclude. 20 seconds.
I will just conclude, and I completely agree with Dr. Kunal Sharkar on what he said, that there should not be politics in cases like this. But if BJP is so good, they want justice, like my National General Secretary has said, the union government should bring an ordinance or a bill that in cases where a person is accused of rape and murder and there is complete evidence against him, there should be a fast-track court where he should be hanged by the gallows within 7 days.
You know, Riju Datta, I'm dying for a rebuttal because your 20 seconds have ended. I'm dying for a rebuttal. Maybe begin with taking away the principal you've just reinstated and pulling him out of his recent appointment. That could be a beginning of what you're saying. Sanju Datta, go ahead. Please conclude. 20 seconds, ma'am.
Sanju Verma.
Sanju Verma, my bad. Go ahead, ma'am.
Okay. You know, I will just end by saying this. I have always said, no matter BJP ruled or TMC ruled or Congress ruled states, accountability is something that should not be alien to politicians. Unfortunately, accountability is a word that is alien to Mamata Banerjee. Start by giving the Home Ministry to somebody full-fledgedly rather than having too much on your plate. Start by removing Rajiv Kumar as the DGP of West Bengal. Start by removing your law minister who's incompetent, start by removing Shashi Panja as your WCD minister and start by never again reinstating Sandeep Ghosh in any medical institution.
You know, accountability is a strange word. Try and explain that to the parents who've just lost their 31-year-old daughter. The mother spoke with her at about 11:45 in the night, asking her, has she eaten dinner? For every parent, this is your worst nightmare. And sadly, we have to discuss this on national television, where we have to detail every amount of pain, of injury that this 31-year-old woman had to go to, so it stays and burns into our memory space to understand, not to forget. But sadly, that's what we do. We forget, we move on till something else hits us in the face.